Berwid-Wojtowicz. I'm very pleased to meet you. I'm a pet nutritionist. I have graduated from animal science, and then I have earned my PhD at the University of Warsaw Agriculture. It's now the University of Life Science, as far as I'm concerned, at the Veterinary Medicine Faculty. So, more or less, I'm interested in pet food nutrition. And today, what I have prepared for you is a little bit of history, but just the very beginning, very short. Then I would like to talk about the different needs of different cats. We sometimes don't see this difference very well, or we sometimes see it very much and we don't know what to do with it. And then I would like to tell you a little bit about special formulas which are available from ProPlan Pet Food. So then, well, we know what is complete and balanced. What is complete and balanced now, and what was complete and balanced then, when the first pet food was introduced in the 50s, it's a very different story. The technology have changed, the conditions have changed, everything has changed. And then at the 70s, first approach to treatment started to appear. So the first veterinary diets were introduced in late 70s. Actually, everything what happened, the first real revolution was in 1995, when there was the NRC report, the National Research Council report. This was the second report. It was very important because it showed that obligatory taurine must be added to cat food. As you know, it's very important for the cat's life and living. Then, for the last 10 years, you see how pet food is changing. It's getting more individualized. We try to approach every cat, every group of cats. This is what is the path we can say that all the premium producers are following. What about the regulations? Well, they are different in different places. However, at the fact that ingredients are very watched, we can say, and also we have to remember that the labeling is watched. But we must remember that not every producer is listed in FIDIA in Europe or AFCO in America. And these are where the producers are in these groups. They follow some, they obey some regulations. The others don't really have to sometimes. And there is no rules that they may follow. Sometimes they may cross them. About Purina, as you know, we are a huge producer, so we are both in FIDIA or AFCO, depends what country we talk about. And we are also recognized for our nutritional contribution by International Society of Feline Medicine. Actually, in next 2 weeks, there's going to be a huge seminar in Warsaw from this organization. So, if you want to see the reference values for your cat, for the pet food you use for your cat, you can take it. It's easily downloaded from the FIDIA web page. Everybody can go and get it. It's a kind of regulation. It's a regulation for Europe, because for America you get AFCO, and they've got different regulation. For example, the zinc value is twice more is allowed in America, but there are also more intoxications of cats by zinc. So this is also risky. What about the guidelines? These guidelines and the newest ones, they are based on the newest NRC report from 2006. Well, some say this is the most natural cat food, raw beef. Well, I don't strictly agree. Why? I can't imagine such a big group of hungry cats that would hunt for a cow, for example. But I really think that it's not complete and balanced. It's got proteins, it's got fat, it's got some ash, so-called ash in pet food, but these are minerals that you can find in pet food. But I don't think that there are many cats that would eat this bone. And there are also some other weak points, like improper concentration of many things. And it can't be, believe me, it can't be the safe, only food for your cat. Because the real cat food is really different. The natural cat food are mice. And mice consist of more things in different proportions than beef. Very different proportions. This is also taken from the nutrition composition that was checked on the very big group of mice. And as you can see, mice do also have in their ingredients carbohydrates and fiber. Of course, it depends how much mouse had eaten before it was caught by a cat. But this is also a part of food of our cat. So what about the carbohydrates? This is the subject everybody is discussing all the time. You must remember that also fiber is carbohydrate. It's in this group. And fiber is very important for microflora and elimination of herbals. Also in cats that are really like to eat. We have to remember that we needed to give them some satiety. And about the carbohydrates, lots of research was done, and the latest ones show that the good sources of carbohydrates that do not cover more than 35% of dry matter bases do not change postprandial glucose. So everything must be a little bit in the good proportions for your cat, and every cat is different. So this is you who must find how to check it. What is important, and I always, when I talk to my clients, when we have this individual cat we look at, the important things is the fiber source. There are many different, these are just examples. And as you see, some of them are insoluble and soluble, saying strictly. Some of them ferment quicker, some of them do not ferment. This is very important because it's not digested by a cat, but the microflora it has in its intestines. So depending on that, if this microflora is fine or not, and in every cat is different, like in every human is different, then every cat would need different proportions. And this is what sometimes it's, I think, in some cases, in some animals I have checked, and I usually have deal with animals that have some problems. This was sometimes more important if the food is from fish or chicken. So you must check it sometimes. When you see the problem, look what is the source of carbohydrates, if it's there, and what is the fiber. This fiber is very important. So spontaneous activity levels in cats, it was measured. It was measured, and it was funny because the group was nearly 200 cats, so it's really, we can say, it works for most of them. And in average, when we say that kittens, it's 100% of the activity, then we have to see that we see the four main groups. These four main groups, apart of kittens, are active animals until they grow to 3 years old. Then we have 4-7, and it's 50% of kittens, and 1/3 are cats over 7 years old. Well, these cats over 7 years old, in some groups, by some groups, are called so-called seniors. But what I would like to say, in 70s, the average age, by statistics, I know many cats used to live then longer, but the average lifespan was 7 years old, 7 to 8, and now it has doubled. Now we have 14 to 16 years old by statistics. It's really a lot. It's thanks to the veterinary medicine, thanks to better maintenance diet, because it impacts all the cat population. It shows also that there are many groups where we have really old cats. There are more older cats than the cats that are even in this midpoint. So, different needs of different cats. Okay, we have the label, we have the pet food. Let's say the cat is eating it well. Usually good premium pet foods got from 88 to 94% of digestibility. Everything depends how we choose it to the cat. And we can take this information from the label, like protein, fat, ash, crude fiber, and moisture, add it to total, and when we subtract from 100%, we get the information how much we've got of carbohydrate. Then we can follow the equation. We can just, it's a very simple method. There are more complicated and accurate ones, but this one is simple and everybody can use it. When you use the Euler's quotients, for fat it's twice more, it's 8.5 kilocalories per gram, you get the calories of your pet food, of any pet food you can use, you want to check. Well, this was made for ProPlan delicate. You get the information. This is plus minus 15%. Actually, it's minus 15% already written. So usually dry food is 3.5 to 4, sometimes 4.5 kilocalories per gram. Then you must remember that wet food is 4 times less. So that makes that this digestibility, well, it doesn't impact digestibility, but the energy density is different, so also the feces density is going to be different. This is how it impacts all the cat and the way it eats. Well, now we have cats. Don't tell me they look the same. They are different. And their needs are different. But usually the energy difference is not that big, because they will use the similar energy, but they need the different proportions of these ingredients. And this is the different impact. But how to assume just the energy requirement? We take a cat, and we have the equation. And this equation's got some different quotients. These quotients are actually the life stage. So see that the difference between the adult cat and the kitten is huge. It's extremely big. But also the weight of kitten and the weight of adult is going to be very different. Then we get the so-called environmental factors, so where the cat lives, if it's active or not, physiology and pathology. When we're going to put it into equation, we get the so-called, we can say exact idea how much our cat needs of energy requirements. Let's get an example. I got Kiri, who's an adult cat, male cat, living indoors, and his optimal body weight is 4.5 kilograms. So we're going to check it. It's 70 for intact cat, 4.5 for body weight, and 0.8 because he lives indoors. So we assume that he doesn't work too much. So it's going to be 252 kilocalories per day. Of course, we can check on pet food label. There is a table, and there is going to be information how much to give to our cat. But if we want to be more, let's say we suspect that this is not enough or this is too much for our cat, we can count it ourselves. And then we take this kilocalories information and we divide it by the energy density we have counted before, and we get 66 grams per day plus 15%, maximum 76 grams per day if we use only dry food. If we mix food, we must remember that it's different. It's going to be about 4 large mice per day, or 8 to 10 average mice per day. If we use wet food, it's going to be about small glass of wet food. Of course, it depends what kind of wet food it's going to be, or half cup of dry food. So that's how it's going to be. Well, it's going to, you must remember that it's not everything together. It's this or this or this. Okay, now I'm going to tell you a little bit. I hope this made you more interested. Some of this information you can get from PDF, some of this in our course of Purina Academy. So, special formula for healthy life. I will start with the kitten's formula because everything starts with the new life. And here we have OptiStart with colostrum. This is something extremely unique because only our company has the technology how to add colostrum, the first milk, to the pet food. This unique formula helps, this colostrum is very full of antibiotics and antimicrobial factors. So it inhibits growth of pathogenic bacteria, the decayed bacteria, and helps maintain healthy gut walls. It also helps with the positive bacteria, and they just stay in a place of pathogenic ones. What does it mean for the kitten? It means a lot, because it helps with the passive immunity, and the passive immunity is very important, especially during vaccination. It helps, and it was shown and reported that the response to vaccination was much bigger with the kittens that were given the OptiCert formula, the formula with colostrum. Also, you could see that in feces, there were IgA production was much higher. This also shows that in intestines, this immunity was stronger. These kittens were really also more resistant to stress. So that's the point why I strongly recommend you the kitten with the formula that contains colostrum. Also DHA is added, docosahexaenoic acid. So what is the next thing? When the cat grows, when we talk about adult cats, the first thing about their health and what we want to prevent from are the kidney problems. The kidney problems, well, we usually talk about these kidneys, but why do they have problems? Because they age. They age quicker than our cat. And what is important, we have to act daily. So daily addition, not only against free radicals, because this you might heard that every company is already neutralizing free radicals, but also the addition of long-chain, special long-chain omega fatty acids that helps with kidney hemodynamics and filtration rate with arginine. These are the very unique, creates the unique blend which helps not aging in the cat, of course if they are in a specific proportions. So then are markers in urine which help to show the stress markers. They are called isoprostans. And after 6 weeks, only 6 weeks of using this blend, you could see that 40% less cats had these isoprostans in urine. When the isoprostans are in the urine, there is the bigger impact on aging and also formation of some other disease. So also in the serum, you could see that there is more vitamin E, which helped to increase this passive protection and was making the immunity of cat higher. It's available from every ProPlan adult formula. So you can get it with every adult formula. This protection is not unique only for sterilized cats. It's in every formula. So this is the protection between aging, because as I said briefly, this is the point. The kidneys of our cat are aging faster than the other parts of the body. But when the kidneys are gone, it's very hard to protect the cat. And the last thing, well, I have said a little bit about the mature cats. There are more and more of them. Of course, you have cats that are to breed. So usually these older cats, they don't breed. But I know cats that used to breed even when they're. It was made on a group of nearly 100 cats. There were 90 cats from 7 years to 17, so they were already incorporated to this clinical trial when they were mature or geriatric. What is amazing, this study took 11 years. The average age of cats was over 16 years in this trial, and what was given, the results, it was only the diet was controlled. And it was the specific diet for seniors, the diet which was blended with antioxidants, and also the longevies. And longevies is unique composition because it's not only antioxidants, and this energy composition that doesn't make our cats too fat. But also prebiotics and omega fatty acids. What was the point? They were living older than about 15%. It was nearly 1 year. But what is more important, and you can see it on this chart, the thing is that these cats that had prebiotics in their diet, they lived longer and they were healthier. This was what could be seen, because there were plenty of research done on this group. It was amazing because they also had less decay bacteria in their intestines. So everything comes back into the gut. We are what we eat, and also our cats. This is what happens. You can see it very straight. So this formula really helped a lot. It also helped with the red blood cells. The level was much higher, and also there were less of decaying bacteria in the gut, which helped these animals longer to have better passive immunity. So for every cat that is over 7 years, I really recommend you this ProPlan Vitalage. It's really working. What I can say? Well, I had a few minutes. I shared with you this little piece of my knowledge. If you want more, I'm here for you. What I want to ask you, optimize your cat's diet. Help your colleagues to do it. The more doesn't mean the better. Not in this case. The cat had to run to catch these 10 mice per day. And we give him sometimes lots of food without any work. And this is what makes most of the behavioral and not only behavioral problems. Too much food doesn't reach too much love. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.